Good evening, everybody. You're all very welcome to Underground Cinema. Now, as a lot of you have been following us over the past week know, we are interviewing as many nominees before the 16th Underground Cinema Film Awards, which take place mid-November in the Royal Marine Hotel in Dunleary. I'm delighted to say tonight I've got with me Oisín Moroney, who has written and directed a fantastic student film called Ribbit. You're very welcome, Oisín.
Thank you. It's very good to be here.
Yeah, fantastic film. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, all the student films that came into us this year were superb. The standard was really, really high, but this one really caught our eye. Maybe you could just tell everybody just a little bit of what Ribbit is about, the storyline.
So Ribbit follows a young child with young parents as they relocate to a new house. And I wanted to sort of look at the idea of moving spaces and how that affects you as a child, and all of the different kind of things that come apart in your world as the space around you changes, and that kind of sense of security that you lose when you realize that everything can be pulled out from under you. And it was co-written the story with a friend of mine, Tig, who it actually originated the story with his dad, and then went off and wrote it himself, and then I went off and added my own little bits to it, talking to him, and so it's gone through a lot of changes like that. Yeah, that's basically the idea that I latched onto, was that kind of being ripped out of a space and what that does to a
yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I've sort of gone through a little bit of that with my own kids, although they were a bit older. We moved from Dublin up to Longford. I know some of this film was shot in Longford, but I think the age my kids were they were just the right age when we moved up. So they were 10 and they were 12 when they moved up. So I think if my young lad was in his teens, I could have had a problem. But this child is much younger. How old is Alfie?
The actor River Carmichael was 8 when we were filming it.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job. What's really interesting about this film is the camera angles, the various different angles that you used throughout the shot. Throughout the shoot. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Did you storyboard this? How did you and your DP approach these various different angles that you used throughout the shoot?
Yeah, heavily storyboarded. Part of what it came out of was a module we were doing in college about going from script to screen, kind of with a project, and translating a script idea into a visual idea. I kind of started thinking about what it'd be like to make a film where every scene is one shot, and how do you sort of encapsulate the story of every scene within one frame, and within the movement of that frame, and what's on frame and what's not in frame. And that was kind of the inciting idea that I started bringing to Ribbit when I started to write it properly. So what I really wanted to look at was, like, how do you take a room and really fill up a shot with everything that's in it. And then I started thinking about the relationship between the child and the parents, and putting them on kind of different planes of action, and what it means to have one on screen and one not off screen, and how you interpret a scene based on what you're forced to look at and what you're not looking at. So that was kind of everything that was going on there. And then when I brought Christians on board, the DOP, and we actually got to making the film, he was really into like lighting ideas. That was kind of his thing, and like the narrative through the lighting, and what it meant to have certain scenes set at certain times of day and things like that. But a lot of it was the storyboards that I originally did in that class, of just those still shots, and yeah. pretty much that.
Yeah, because a lot of this is from Alfie's perspective, you know. So,
Mm.
so some of the shots that you see. I mean, just to explain a little bit more for people that haven't seen the film, the parents, Alfie's parents, they're like any other parents. They have good moments and they have bad moments. They have ups and they have downs, and it is a difficult time when you do move home. You know, they say it's one of the most traumatic experiences you can have is to move house. You move from a comfort blanket, I suppose, for a very young child. You've gone from somewhere very safe and secure to somewhere that is completely different, is alien to them. And I would imagine it's a very difficult time for them. And as I said, he's a young child. He actually seems younger in the film, to be honest with you. He looks much younger.
Yeah.
But he's listening to his parents go through some difficult situations. All parents argue, you know, they fight. But it's from his perspective. But what I liked was the camera angles where you didn't see, say, the parents' heads. You just saw
Yeah.
their legs, or they were out of frame to the left or out of frame to the right, or in car scenes you don't even see them. You might see an elbow, and I thought
Mm.
that was really good. Good. I thought that was a really good approach to take. Worked really well. Were you pleased with it?
Yeah, definitely. I There were some logistical issues, definitely that we ran into when we actually got a space to shoot in. Of like, you can only plan so much in a story, but like, I want all of this on screen, and then you actually meet the practicalities of putting a camera in a location, and you don't quite get everything, and then you sort of have to like shove
Yeah,
things
of
in a little
course.
bit. And then your lens is only so wide, and you can't really do it exactly how you envisioned it. But yeah, I think we got everything that we wanted in the end.
Yeah, and another thing I thought was super. So when I'm watching the film, I'm watching everything. So I'm watching the cinematography, the production design, but the one key one for me would be the sound. The sound design is really important. And when the film started, when I was watching it, I said to myself, "Oh no, don't tell me they've made it. The sound is poor on this." And it only took me a couple of seconds to realize that this is the way it's deliberately shot like this, because we hear parents say in another room, and it's a little muffly. But what I thought was really clever was the subtitles. Okay, the subtitles were a great idea. They were a great addition to the film. It was the way they were presented on the screen. So they were almost like crayony, childlike. They jiggled a little bit, which I thought was really really cool. It was a great addition, a great idea. They looked really well.
Yeah, they came out of they weren't in there from the beginning. They came out of the editing process. Um, Initially, I had planned on the beginning that kind of the sound sort of slowly creeping in of the parents talking. That was one thing I had in there. But as we moved along, it became clear that I wanted more and more of the sound of the parents kind of moving out of being fully audible. And I was kind of worried that people wouldn't be able to take in all of the things they were saying. And then it was my editor, Oisín Moroney, when he started working on the titles and the credits and things like that. He introduced we found a font together that we liked, and he started doing the animations with the kind of like wavy text. And that I really liked the look of that, and I thought it would be a nice thing to introduce as part of the storytelling as well. That it's almost like the moments that he can hear them, when we're sort of diving into to his understanding of their conversations is when the subtitles come up on screen, and it's like this extra layer of getting into forcing us to listen to the words and look at him as he's interpreting the words and processing them. um, I thought it was I just really enjoyed it once we started putting them in there.
Yeah. Your score was really important as well. It just adds so much to the film. Sammy Copley did the
Hmm.
score for you.
Yeah,
He did
Sammy
a
is
super
my
job. Did he work right through the edit with you? Yeah.
Yeah, Sammy is actually my partner, and so I always wanted him to work on the film with me. I always, I mean, I love his music. Obviously, I've listened to it loads, and I love he has a very specific style that I really thought would go well with the kind of innocence, but also the kind of sadness of it. And in particular, I was actually very inspired by the films of Jane Schoenbrunn. I love We're All Going to the World's Fair, and I saw the TV Glow, and Jane uses music in a way with those films, like actual songs that I really really love, and I wanted to have something like that, like a song moment that really kicks you into like this is what the tone of the film is after a kind of introduction. And so I latched on early on to the idea of Ribbit having like an original song that was sort of built around, and all the themes would come out of that song. And so that was where that came from.
Yeah. What did you find were your major challenges when you were shooting this film? You're working with a very young child who's very, very good, and two very capable actors. And you shot the film in Cavan and Longford and Dublin as
Mhm.
well.
No, no Dublin at all, actually, just Calvin Longford.
Just the two counties, Cavan and Longford.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what were your biggest challenges when you were working on it?
Um, well, yeah, I mean, I'd never worked with a child before, and the child wasn't even an actor. This was the first thing he had ever done like it. He was just, as his mum said, he was just interested in it. Um, we Probably the biggest challenge was with the kind of the 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 pace of student productions coming together once you sort of get something selected in your like production class, and we had maybe like 2 and a bit weeks of pre-production to get everything in order, and we looked at for places in Dublin, nothing really worked. We looked in Wicklow and we couldn't get it locked down, and then finally I thought of the because my dad is from Cavan, from that area, and we thought of reaching out and asking if we could use some of our family homes, basically, and invading those spaces for a week to try and shoot those bits. And so then the logistical questions became getting everyone out to Cavan, and then how can we get actors out there, and we didn't even have actors because it was such short notice, and so really it was uh, I hadn't met any of the actors, including the child, before we started shooting because of all of the complications of that. And so it was really just like we hit the ground running basically, and I was having to like meet them and form relationships with them as we were starting to shoot scenes already, and so their relationship as actors together was kind of forming on the go as well. So yeah, it was a tough one, but then the crew, we were all staying and living in one house together, which is also the house we were shooting in, and that kind of became our base, and we were staying there for 24 hours a day, and the actors were coming and staying with us for many hours as well, and so it became this kind of like little home unit, where we were all got very familiar with the space, and I think that really helped us kind of come together and shoot it where we were kind of taking ownership of the space. It wasn't like an alien space that we were kind of imposing anything onto. We were kind of letting it kind of wash over us, and responding to it in that way. And I think that was really the thing that made it come together after all of those challenges.
Yeah, you can sort of see it. You have a very strong crew around you, and I'm a great believer of, when you surround yourself with really great people, and the end product is going to be super, and you can see that
Mhm.
has happened to this film. It's a real team effort. It's a really good student film. And I was just wondering, it's on its festival circuit journey now at the moment. I'm just wondering, how is it resonating with some of the audiences that have seen it so far?
I think it's going well. I mean, I've mostly been hearing from people that I know already, because I use the online screener with Underground Cinema to sort of to finally get it in the hands of some people that I know that didn't get a chance to see it at our graduating screening and things like that. And the response has been very positive, and I've been very very pleased by that. That people are kind of. I was worried about the more unconventional aspects of it, and but I probably shouldn't have. They say you should always have faith in audiences that they'll get what you're going for. And I think I really have heard from a lot of people that everything that I intended has landed. And that's been very encouraging. I haven't got a chance to screen it outside of our graduating show in a cinema yet. So that's something I'm really trying to get happening if I can. So yeah, still in the early phases of festival runs, but yeah, hoping I can get some more out of it.
Yeah, I certainly enjoyed it, and it certainly hit home for me, as I said, because of my own situation. Having moved from Dublin to Longford 3 years ago. I want to talk about something I think that you guys did really well, and we had a film festival in September down at the Royal Marine in Dunleary, and we chatted about this while we were down there with the audiences, is with regard to Film Freeway
Mm.
and the way filmmakers submit their films to Film Freeway. And I thought your presentation on Film Freeway was excellent. It's really important to get when you're submitting your film to a film festival, to get it right. You did it perfectly. You uploaded a super trailer. The poster's really catchy. You gave me the full list of the cast, the crew. You also sent in a director statement as well. You wrote a really good cover letter as well. I couldn't really have asked for more than that. And all of that information is really, really, really important to a film festival programmer. Um, once you send all that sort of information with your Film Freeway entry, a festival programmer will immediately take note of it and watch the film. And that's the whole idea. Is when you're going to send your film via Film Freeway, just before you press the submit button, you should just be saying to yourself, will a film programmer be happy with what I've sent? And I think the way you've presented your application on Film Freeway was top class, A+ as far as I'm concerned, because I dropped everything and watched it straight away, because there's nothing worse, Oisín. It drives me mad is when a submission is sent into us with practically no synopsis or no information on the film, and a copy, a screen grab from the film, and text just splashed across the picture. To me, I'll probably watch that film a little bit later on. I'll move on to the next one. I will watch it. I'll watch it to the end, but I won't watch it straight away. And when I see something that's really, really well put together, I'll immediately watch it. And that goes for all our panel. They do the exact same. So, I just wanted to say well done. It's such a brilliant entry.
Thank you. Yeah, it's I had a bit of help putting it together because a friend of mine is also a programmer and was able to sort of point me towards some of the things that will make it stand out. But yeah, it's a very difficult thing to sort of, when you're first using the platform and you have all of those fields for information and you don't really know what to put in there, and what people are looking for. It's a kind of a daunting one. So I'm glad that it worked out, and I hope it continues to catch people's eyes, because I would love to get it in front of more people.
Yeah, it's definitely right. You did a really, really good job, and it caught all of our eyes straight away. So, well done on that. What's next, Oisín? Are you working on anything now at the moment?
I am been slowly working away on a script that I'm very passionate about, but just have not quite found the thing that has cracked it yet. I There's a short story that I love, by an Irish writer, um, from the 19th century, called Gerald Griffin. He has this great short story collection called Holland Tide. It's a bunch of sort of campfire stories. Basically, it's a short story collection of like ghost stories. Um, and I just love the tone of his writing. And I've always wanted to make something horror, and I love period stuff. But it's obviously it's a difficult thing to sort of jump into. There's a lot of production that has to go into that. But it's just the thing that every time I sort of like, oh, maybe I'll do something else, I always come back to it. So I'd love to get that made someday. But other than that, I'm just sort of just trying to get work, just doing the rounds on other people's films, doing sort of odd bits as like gaffer and camera assistant, and yeah, just trying to meet people and hopefully meet a crew that I can start making more films with outside of college.
You studied in TU. How was your experience in TU?
Great, yeah, it's the I think the thing that I really got a lot out of was the facilities there, because it's sort of the brand new Grange Gorman campus, and they've recently invested into all of their equipment, and they're very generous with like letting you take it and use it for other things, and take it out and practice with it and really get familiar with it. And so that was that kind of the ability to go and do self-directed kind of learning and take control of it yourself was very good. It's a 50-50 practical theoretical course, so there's a lot of like essays and but that's stuff that I love as well. Like I'm definitely a much better filmmaker for having studied so many different like aspects of the craft outside of actually making stuff. And I when you're in it and you're having to do 4 3,000 word essays in 4 weeks, you definitely kind of wish like, oh, I wish I could just be making films. But so many of the things that I put into Ribbit, I would not have known how to do if I hadn't been taught the vocabulary to kind of understand the medium in that way. So I would definitely recommend anyone who is like looking to do a film course to do something that gives you that theoretical background, because it'll make you a much better director for sure, above anything.
There, and also Underground Cinema have worked out there as well. We've actually done outdoor movies out at TU. We've done some of the classics like Back to the Future out there, and Jaws, and The Young Offenders, and we've done some brilliant Q&As out there as well. So no, it's a great place to study the craft. Well, look, Oisín, I really do wish you the very best of luck. Can't wait to see what you're going to pull out of the bag next. This one caught our eye. There were only 5 nominees in the student category, so well done.
Thank you so much. It's very exciting to get something like this so early on, and I'm very grateful for it.
Great. Well, look, we really look forward to seeing you. We're going to see you at the awards in mid-November. I'm looking forward to having a drink and a laugh with you. And we really do hope you enjoy the night. We look forward to seeing you then.
Looking forward to myself.
Okay. Take care, Oisín. Take care.
Bye now.